we are back, and I have to admit, guys, if you notice that was a different intro, that is because I suck and chose the wrong StreamYard account and already invited our guest down here using the link, so I couldn't change it. So I have been scrambling for the last 20 minutes, literally rapidly trying to make an intro, and honestly texted her an hour ago.
Yeah, basically.
I think it was like an hour ago, and I was like, I need a guest, and you're the only other person I know that'll just drop everything to talk fishing on the internet. So
I did. Yep. All good.
we're back. I want to thank everybody who's been patient with me not being on the live stream between all of the dog stuff and life stuff. I have been very busy and just didn't have it in me to come on and talk. So, which kind of, I'm going to go right into the big announcement. Because of that, and because I miss it that much, I'm going weekly with this podcast. So starting next week, literally 3 days from now, we're going every Tuesday night because I don't want to compete with Maines or Wendell's or Bobby Roast Beeves or Alex Rudd, any of the other podcasts that all you guys are always in there in the chats with me. We're gonna go on Tuesday nights. It's gonna be around 8 o'clock. I may or may not have a guest. I may or may not dupe someone else to come in and hang out with me a lot more. But I want to do it weekly. More or less, is going to give you guys updates and talk about everything that happened. So speaking of, I want to ask. I'm not going to get too personal on this, but you went on a cruise. Did you fish at all while you were on the cruise?
This is the only cruise that I did not fish. I did bring one of my little straw survival kits, my little fishing kits that I make, but I did not. And the reason is because the last cruise, which was a couple years ago, we were in were we in Bermuda? Yeah. And I brought my hand line and I caught a fish. We take a picture, and as soon as I let it go, I turn and I look at the rock wall, and it said no fishing, $500 fine. And I went, I'm too old to like if I'm a kid, maybe they'd be a little lenient, but I'm an
Mm,
adult now. I don't have
yeah,
that.
you're not
Just
going to get away with that.
yeah. So no, I didn't. But I did swim with sharks. So that was really
Okay.
cool. Yeah.
So you swam with fishes, you just didn't get to catch fishes.
Right. I touched them. I hugged a
Fair
shark.
enough.
There's a photo of me like hugging the shark. Nurse sharks. Super
I'm
cool
not
though.
gonna lie, it's been a quiet social media week for me, actually 2 weeks, because my boy Bear Fishing's in Italy.
Oh,
So like I haven't been talking to him at all
I didn't
either.
get a phone call for that. What the
Um,
heck?
and it is hold on. Okay. Um it has been well, for you guys you guys have followed my channel, you've seen some of the videos. When I was giving my public thank yous to people that were staying up till 2 or 3 a.m. talking, this is one of them. And I have some really good friends that have gotten me through all that stuff. But I've been fishing my butt off, but it really hasn't. This year's been weird. And I don't know, like before you went on the cruise, like I feel like the spawn lasted like a week.
Yeah, or a day. I don't even think I hit. Yeah, I caught a snakehead with Bobby, and I was like, all right, the spawn's about to heat up. And then like I went to Vermont and came back, and it was like over. And even in
It was
Vermont, all
gone.
the smallies spawned. Like the smallies were spawned
Yeah.
out, and it was all like largemouth. And if we were catching
Yeah.
smallies, they were like good, like 2 to 3, like 3 pounders, which I'm not complaining about, but it wasn't what it's been normally. It was very strange.
No. No, what was crazy too is like so I did a tournament on a Smalley Lake. Like it's a mixed lake, but I don't think there is any actually just Smalley Lakes in Vermont. They're all mixed lakes. But um I went pre-fishing the weekend before, the Saturday before the tournament. The entire shoreline, beds for
Covered.
probably 200 yards. Every rock had a bed next to it, like all the way down through. Tournament weekend, there wasn't a goddamn fish on the shore anymore.
Nope.
Like that must have been the last wave, and that was beginning of June.
Yeah, I remember texting you being like, "Dude, the guy that we fish with said like the smallies are like spawned, like already spawned." And I was like, "What
Yeah,
is he talking about? He's crazy." Like,
yeah,
nope, they did.
yeah. My home lake was spawned out probably end of May. They were already like on beds and getting ready to pull out, and it was crazy because it feels like, see, every year I always feel like I miss it, and it's aggravating. Report,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
they're like, guys are like, "Oh, they were hitting really good last Wednesday," and I'm like, "Well, I can't fish on Wednesdays. I fish on
right.
weekends." So by the time I get to Saturday, I feel like the spawn is already over, and it's like, I hate that. But this year it was really weird. Everybody I've talked to was like, "Dude, they never really gone on bets." Like it was just
No,
like there, and instead of like waves, they just all went one weekend. Like it
yeah,
just
and it was over. It was weird.
because I mean you're nowhere near Vermont, like, and you've had the same experience. I've talked to people up in Maine that have had the same, like the Northeast in general,
Oh
just
yeah,
like over the course of a 2 week window, and that was it. It was done, shut down.
it was
Which makes
weird.
me worried. Like, was it a bad spawn? And we're gonna have like in a
Yeah,
couple years, are we gonna see like a major downturn in fish quality, or
yeah, I don't know. Like I feel like I was out fit. Well, other than the kayak issue, I feel like I was out fishing because I fish during the weekend doesn't matter. I
right?
feel like yeah, it never there was never that moment of like let's go. Like I didn't even catch a snakehead this year. Bobby did. Bobby caught it. Like usually that lake for like a week and a half, like those fish are getting ready, like the largemouth are getting ready, and the snakehead are just like cleaning up their scraps.
Yep.
And it was like, nope.
Yeah.
So it
Yeah,
was
even bluegill,
weird.
all the species are done. Like, there's
Yeah.
all the beds, every bed I've seen are empty. There's nothing in them. It's gone, and that's what's crazy. So for me, what sucks about that is I had underwater. I have the underwater camera, and I was really hoping
Oh,
to get some like footage of like
like
fish
some
on
bed
beds and
footage.
stuff like that. And it's weird because at the same time, I've
I,
been bitching about the spawn being so short,
right.
but I've actually been catching bigger fish this year.
Ayo. Hey, I caught my personal
Like, I
best
think
pup.
my average, granted, like, I'm obviously not catching 5 pounders every time I go out,
Right, right, right.
but I feel like at least once a weekend I'm getting like an over 16,
Yeah.
over 17. Like, instead of just like having those days where it's like you're just aggravated because you're pulling in 12 incher after 12 incher, and
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I got back from my camping trip that I was telling you about in the green room. Like, I was going through my video, and I'm like doing the editing, right? And when I do my editing, I'll literally label like LM1, LM2,
Yep.
LM3. So I like can kind of have an idea of like how many fish I caught. And I'm like LM13, LM14, and I'm like, how many fucking little tiny fish
Uh-huh.
did I catch on this trip? But it's like I keep catching like one big one, and that keeps me going,
Yeah.
because it makes me sound like I'm trying to be like an elitist of some sort. But it's
No.
just like when you get to a certain point,
Yeah, the dinks or the
you don't
nibblers, you don't want to deal with them.
you just don't want to deal. And the thing is too is like baits are expensive. And like I'm
Oh,
throwing $9 a pack like max scent worms because I'm trying to catch bigger fish for that tournament I'm in.
yeah.
So I'm getting charged $1 a fish because those worms get shredded by these 7 inch, like I'm catching a 7 inch bass on a 6 inch worm.
Right.
And I'm like, dude, you just wasted $1. Like, I'm so mad at you right now.
Oh, when we go to Champlain and we fish it, I'm just like, use it. I'm like Soraya, anybody. Unless it's like the one thing I'm getting bit on, I'm like, all right, maybe I got to keep some for me. But I'm just like, use it. It's like, oh, I just threw a crankbait, got bit off by a pike. Just throw the next one out there. Just
So
don't even worry about it.
this is the guy bitching about you not
Yeah, I
having
know.
enough baits
Yeah,
too. Like,
you.
I probably shouldn't, but it's just like I have actually specific baits I reserve for tournaments
Oh, nice.
because I have certain baits that I want to like save. So I have, because the problem is around here you probably have a lot more access to. Like, I don't have tackle stores that sell everything. Like, even
Oh,
up here, like we have Dick's Sporting Goods, and that's it. And
no,
they don't even sell Berkeley products.
I
Like,
don't have a lot of
there's
tackle
like
shops
maybe
like that.
4 or 5 Berkeley products, and that's
Right.
it. And everything else is like Yum, and which is fine, but I like a lot of the plastics that I use that I don't pour myself are mostly Berkeley stuff. It's not
Right.
even that I'm a fanboy; it's just their stuff works for me.
Yeah.
But
I don't have a lot of like
I've
little
definitely,
tackle
so
shops.
guys,
Go ahead.
you don't.
No, no. I go to like Dick's or Cabela's in Delaware. It's like a 30-minute ride for me. Or I just order stuff from Tackle Warehouse, Discount Tackle, or Omnia, or wherever Bobby or you guys have freaking discounts. And I'm just like,
Yeah,
help a
so
girl out.
yeah, I order. That's the funny thing is a lot of times I will order when she says Bobby, she's talking about Bobby roast beef. You
Yes,
guys have
sir.
seen him up like 5. He's actually the most recurring guest I've had on this podcast at this point, and all the time or heckling him on his. But
Well, now
I
we got to
order
make
stuff
that a
for
goal.
Omnia from him, or like if I have a bait, like my link in my descriptions
Mhm.
for the Easy Shiners is his Omnia link. Like I'm like, dude,
Oh,
I don't have any affiliation with this company, but you do, so you want to hook me up with a link so people can
yeah.
save some money, and I throw his links in my show notes a lot because. But Tackle Warehouse is unfortunately becoming the new Amazon for
It
fishing,
is. It is.
and all the local tackle stores like can't compete, and
No.
Amazon doesn't have everything, so I end
Nope.
up like going. Matter of fact, I literally built a cart on Amazon or on Tackle Warehouse today for stuff that I used up during my camping trip that I want for my tournament in
Dude,
July.
I have playlists. So I have like my lipless, my cranks. I have like my Vermont one, or yeah, they're playlists. Like my rods, my setups, like in Tackle Warehouse, because you can do that. You can make like my drop shot things, the
Yep.
calls that I like. Could just go in there. I can either add them all, or I can just add whatever ones I like. Every year we find a different lure that we use. Like this year, it was crankbaits. Man, they just wanted something moving pretty fast. So was like adding in crankbaits and stuff. Fishing has been
Hey
lit.
Scott, we got to talk about that for a minute. How did you pull that off, buddy?
Oh, dang.
That is brutal.
I'm sorry about your ribs. That sucks.
Dude, honestly, the weather too. Like, I don't know. You guys get the same weather we do, just later or earlier typically.
Mhm.
But like,
Mhm.
did you guys get that? Have you got that monsoon stuff that hit today yet?
It rained last night, didn't get the monsoon stuff, but when I was gone, it was like 95.
So it is
It's
like
like, what?
this redness. This isn't the camera. This
Oh,
is because it's like 110 in this room, and
oh,
I don't have an AC in here.
I put my air on. I'm living like a queen. I'm in my
And
little office.
I'm getting something for this room. It's ridiculous. If I'm
Yeah.
especially if I'm gonna do podcasts weekly. But no, the weather has been like this is how the forecast goes, and it's aggravating to me because every Wednesday I go look at the forecast and I go, okay, what am I looking at this weekend? And it's always like, oh, it's gonna be cloudy. I'm like, cool. And then I make a plan to go fish somewhere. And then Friday comes around and like, oh, chance of severe thunderstorms and hail. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay. So then I choose like a different lake because a lot of the places that I'm looking to fish are tournament lakes because I'm
Right.
trying. So the last 4 tournaments of the year are like 2.5 hour drives minimum, like
Wow.
120 miles, right?
Yeah, that's crazy.
And I'm like, I want to fish these places because I want to get some exposure so I can do well, right? But I don't want to drive 3 hours to then get blown off the lake in a lightning storm and then not be able to fish. So I have enough lakes close to my house that I've been just kind of staying local because then if there's a thunderstorm, I can always just jump out, hang out in the truck, see what happens. I don't have a 3 hour drive home and then I wasted, the whole morning.
Yeah,
And
I feel that.
but then like sometimes that is true and sometimes it's a thunderstorm and sometimes it's just 100 degrees and then I'm sitting on my home lake. I'm complaining about fishing on a lake 20 minutes from my house. It's got good fishing, but it's like I'm honestly getting sick of fishing that lake at this point because I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't want to fish here anymore. I want to fish somewhere different. Because
Right.
that's my favorite thing. And literally the theme of your whole YouTube channel is like going somewhere you've never been before and catching a fish is the best part of fishing.
Yeah. I always have like a one, well, for me, I'm like, okay, new body of water, let's get one bite. Like, let's just get one bite and see what we can do with that. Or at least the day wasn't wasted, or the
Yeah.
travel wasn't wasted, and there was still an adventure to be had. And then I'm like, oh, if I can get 2 or 3, like, you have those good moments where you're like, I got a good feeling about this, or just something clicks. But yeah, traveling to a place and gambling like that is tough. It is not, and it's a lot of gear to like set up and take down, and it's a lot of work.
And
It's
that's what it
rewarding,
is I'm
but
at
it's a
the
lot of
point
work.
now where I'm at the point now where like the lakes that I haven't fished a bunch are 3 hours away, 2 hours away. Like,
Ugh.
and to be fair, I'm in Vermont. So like when you look at a map and you go, oh dude, that's only like 50 miles from you.
Yeah.
But people don't realize that in Vermont, and you've been there, so you know, but like the people that are watching that aren't from Vermont, like 50 miles away means I've got to go around a mountain
Or through it, or
and
up it, or
I'm
down
going
it.
20 miles an hour up a pass.
Yeah.
Like, we're not on an 85-mile-an-hour interstate highway that I can get there in 10 minutes. Like,
No, not in
you
Vermont.
can't get there from here is a common saying in Vermont. And Janelle's laughing because she knows exactly what I mean. You
I
try to
do.
get directions to someplace, and Vermonters will literally say, "Oh, you can't get there from here. You got to go north to go south. You can't
Yep.
go west. There is no east-west
No.
because our state's so narrow and there's mountains down the middle of it." So,
Very true. Very true. We tried to go, Soraya and I, when we stayed there, we were in the Burlington area. We tried to go like fish just the bank of one of the rivers, and we wound up on like a super private golf course. And we were just like, I don't know how to get out of here. like I don't know how we got here. I
yeah,
don't know how to get out of here. There's no service. It's just
yep,
farm like field roads. I don't know what turn to take. Like normally I'm pretty good with like, all right, we made a left, we made a right, we got to do the opposite when we come back. But I was just like, baby, just keep going like we belong here
yep,
and get us out. Like, don't stop. Just don't stop.
yep. This state is really weird because what sucks about it is if you program your GPS before you leave your house, you're fine.
Yep,
But
that's true.
once you get to your destination, there
You're
is
there.
a almost 90% chance that you're not going to be able to call up home on your GPS because there's zero data. And
Right.
people don't realize that once your GPS is running, it's not using cell phone data, it's using GPS signal. Once you stop and have to get a new route, it goes back to using data. And if you're fishing in Vermont, it's actually more uncommon to not have service at boat ramps than to have service. It's very rare that you'll have service at any boat ramp in Vermont. I don't
I
know
don't have
why.
service.
It just happens to be the locations that they're at and being rural, but
I
there's
don't have
zero
service
service at
on
most of the ones.
Champlain. I don't have service.
No.
I'm like, what the hell is this? Like,
Yeah.
we've got the international plan because my wife's family's from Portugal. So, like, we've got service everywhere
Yep.
in the world, but on
Yep.
Lake Champlain. I'm like, okay.
The ironic part is where you guys go,
Mhm.
you're probably more likely to get service from the Canadian towers than you
Oh,
are
yeah.
the Vermont towers.
When I was a teenager, you'd get that thing for, like, the message that was like, "Boop, just like welcome to Canada, like, just so you know, your rates will go up, blah, blah, blah." And I'll be like, "I'm just using my
Yep.
phone for pictures. That's all I use it for, or for, like, music."
I literally got a big bill one time because I was in Aalborg and
Ooh.
it was like, "Oh, you were in Canada." And I'm like, "I've never been to Canada.
Right. Yep.
No idea what you're talking about."
Yeah.
But you're just close enough where you start pinging off the wrong towers.
Mhm. Isn't it fun? Isn't life so so much
So
fun?
your trip, I mean, honestly, your trip, the photos you did send me was probably more successful than my weekend of fishing while you were here.
Damn. Hey, yo, listen. Listen, I can't listen.
So
I put in work for Bobby's tournament, okay?
you did.
That scavenger hunt was a lot for me, and I was just, like, determined. The only thing that pisses me off is I could not catch a carp and I could not catch a catfish. Doesn't make any sense. I know they're catfish are, like, the easiest dumb fish
Carp
to
are
catch.
tricky.
Carp are
Catfish are
tricky.
usually easier if you go 'em.
Right. I was getting a lot of turtle action, okay? Turtles wanted my
Yeah.
bait, and there was nothing I could do about it. Was using chicken liver, was using all kinds of different stuff, bluegill, cut bait,
Yep. Wouldn't do it.
couldn't do it, but I came in 3rd, so I'm not complaining,
Hey, you
but
placed than I've ever placed in that. The best I've ever placed is 4th.
mm,
Are you doing that? Speaking of that, are you doing that one on the 29th?
no. I
Oh,
am it's too hot for me, and I gotta get focused on the bus, like, I gotta get power in that damn thing
got
because 'cause
it.
I'm gonna be in it in, like, a month, so I don't that's
Yep.
why I knew, like, I had to go all out in May because I was like, after the cruise, it's just gonna be absolute
It's
mayhem
gonna be
until
absolutely
September when I hope to be, like, on the road, so, yeah.
wow. September, huh?
I know,
That's news to
I
me,
haven't
guys.
even yeah. You wanted to drop a
Damn.
bomb,
I
I
feel I
figured
feel left out because I'm usually the insider that knows everything that's coming out ahead of
I
time.
haven't
But
told anybody, the only one that knows is Soraya, and that's as long as everything lines up, but that's the problem, and the more people you tell, it seems like it almost doesn't work out, in my case, especially when it comes to the bus, but I would love to spend September and October traveling in the bus full time, so
that would be cool.
that
She
would
I have
yeah,
been and I've been hounding her about this, guys. You will see her on an episode of Benny Outdoors at some point.
you will,
Just a matter of when she
I don't have the money. I don't have the
yep.
money to get up to you. I really don't. I don't even know how. Like, I didn't even have the money to go on the cruise, and somehow I made it happen. So it's very I'm holding on by that much, but I'm trying to make it happen. We will get together. There's no doubt, about it. It's
Yeah.
just life.
Yeah, and honestly, so guys, a little insider knowledge. Worst case scenario, I've already got the break glass in case of emergency. Somebody has a bus that I could sleep on. So if she can't get everything organized and everything worked out, I really want to catch a snakehead anyways. So
Mhm.
I might make I guess we'll call it a dirty south vacation because it's about as south
Heyo.
I'm probably gonna go.
Yo.
And I guess for a lot of you guys that are in here, like Michael Bradley, Scott Romaner, I'm also thinking about hooking up with Mainstream and fishing with him a little bit.
There you
So
go.
he is, I think, he says he's like 2 hours from you, but it's like on the
Oh,
way down.
got ya. On the way
So
down.
probably gonna do a weekend where I think I'm gonna come down early as hell on a Saturday, possibly even leave Friday night and just be
Friday
like, "Hey,
night.
bus unlocked, and if you hear something in your driveway, it's me." And
Yeah, there
just
with a
like
BB gun, like
crawl out of my truck and just fall asleep on the floor of the bus and just have you shake me in the morning.
no
And
worries.
then fish all day Saturday, sleep, get up Sunday, drive up to wherever Maine is, hit him up, fish, and then come home after. But if that trip's going to happen, it's just whether this year, next year. Honestly, you get like less of a winter than me.
I do.
So it might even be a deal where maybe I can't fish up here because it's too cold, but it's still fishable down there. I might make a, like end of October trip or something where it's still like I
Yeah.
could be getting ice at any time up here and you still have the ability to go fish. That
Yeah.
actually is a good question. Does the snakehead like have a temperature range that they feed? Like, because I know they're like invasive, so I don't know if they even know what cold is, but they
That I
probably don't
don't
even go up here. They probably die.
Yeah, that I don't know because they have to breathe air. So like a bass can like just drop down and kind of go low in the water column and just kind of hunker down and do his thing. But a snakehead, on the other hand, still has to breathe water. So I don't actually know that information. I'm sure that there's some sort of something. I'm
You'll appreciate this one.
ready.
Ready?
Uh oh. Uh oh. Oh, hey yo, what is it? Yeah, man.
Join in the club.
Welcome to the club. Yeah, still mad that it took me as long as it did, but it's fine. I miss my baby, dude. I haven't rigged it at all. Like, that's another thing
No.
that I'm excited to get back down to my parents because I'm like, normally I rig it in the winter to get it ready for the spring, but I might as well do it now while I'm getting ready to travel in the fall. So maybe you'll see some
Yeah,
kayak
it's
videos coming up.
so, and that's the one thing that's gonna be cool is like you're gonna have the old town. Are you good now? Are you rigging like a full battery setup and everything in that, or are you just running it kind of stock and just having like the rod holders and just stuff to bring fishing gear with?
At some point, probably in the next couple of years, there will be a Torpedo on there, and I would love an anchor, like a mini anchor pole. But for now, we're just
Gotcha.
running it stock with the pedals. I've got the Nokwa battery for my Garmin Striker 4 or 4, 5 plus, whatever it is, and
Yep.
we're gonna stick with that. I like the layout. Here's
Yep.
the thing with me: as much as I want to put bells and whistles all over everything because I love customizing
Don't.
gear, I also just want to put my freaking boat in the water, turn a camera on, and go. Like I struggle
Yep.
so much with the back and forth of it all. So for now, that's we're just rolling with what she is, and then go from there.
For you, I would suggest limiting
Yeah,
what you put on it,
not
and
wrong.
that's not. And this is coming from a guy who rocks 9 rods, has full charging system. People literally, I've had guys in full $100,000 glitter boats stop and go, "Holy shit!" as I go by them.
Yeah,
But for you, it's a little different because for me, when I'm done fishing, I back my trailer into the water, I drag my kayak up on the trailer, I throw my upright rods into a
yeah,
box on the side of my trailer, and I'm gone. For
sure.
you, you're stripping the whole thing down to throw it on
Yeah,
the bus. So you're gonna have for you the build's gonna be, which will be really cool content,
yeah.
but the build's gonna be more modular. You've got to make yours quick takedown and put up because you don't want to spend, you
An hour.
travel, you get to the spot, and then you're like, okay, now I got to spend an hour setting this thing up,
Yeah,
and then it starts raining, and now I can't fish. So like,
yeah.
you gotta.
Screw that.
Your whole motivation's a little bit more streamlined than me because, like I said, my kayak right now, I could go hook up my trailer and go fish because it's literally set up to go fish. I don't take mine down when I'm done. I even got to the point now where I'm leaving the boxes in the back, like all my sorter boxes are just bungeed into my crate.
Jerk.
So I don't even pack that. My plastics, my baits, my rods are all there. All I got to do is hook on the trailer and go.
Yeah, you're a jerk. No, I'm just kidding. You're not. You're not a jerk. I like I said, at some point I'll have a Shoalie, I'm sure. Or some sort of crescent kayak. A Shoalie. Yeah, that green one is gorgeous. Oh my god. Yeah. But yeah, so I have the Old Town PDL, which is like the pedal drive, like hardcore balls to the walls. And then I have it's like an Emotion Kayak Temptation or something. It's purple. It's my wife's, but that one's coming with me as like a backup where it just has like a quick get in and go. At least the Old Town, I could put my dog in the back, but she's not the most comfortable in a floating vessel. So I don't know how that'll go. But if I do get the insert, which is just like the waterproof insert, I can put her right in the hole with me, like right by my feet, and then I could paddle her around. But she's more of a I want to swim in the water type of dog than she is a what the hell is this going on?
Can you to answer this, Bradley? Not really, because there's 2 scupper holes under the seat, and then there's 2 that are directly next to the pedal drive. So if you were to try to drive something through there, you would have to position your pedals just right, and if you started to move, your prop would actually hit that. Because when you move forward or backwards, your prop still spins.
Yep.
So it would be I will tell you,
anchor
the best
trolley.
thing you can do for an anchor is an anchor trolley.
Yep.
And what I did, which is a clothesline retriever. I made a video about it. You literally take the clothesline retriever, you pull all that plastic shitty line out of there, tie a paracord to it, and then it feeds back up into your thing, so you don't have to have this bundle of line in your kayak.
Right. People do like dog leashes.
Yours is 106, right?
Mine's the 106. I went smaller. I don't need a big one. Well, the day that I have a big one, I'll have a trailer and I'm not gonna want to fuss with it. Like literally, it's gonna be like a boat but a kayak. That's what that'll be. And it'll probably be a native.
Said I would never do this, but I am 99% sure I'm going Hobie next year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I can't listen. Do what's best for you. I always thought about having a Hobie, but again, I like the prop drive. But if I'm going with it, I'm going like pro angler. Like I said, that'll be like the boat kayak where it's literally, like it's got like a front mounted trolling motor, and I'm just hitting cruise control and going.
So I'm not getting rid of the Old Town. I'm going to keep the Old Town.
Good man.
That's going to be my like backup kayak / if I want to take a friend. Like Janelle comes up to Vermont and doesn't want to have to haul the kayak all the way up here, and I have a backup kayak and wants to go fishing, or just don't want to use. So the thing about the Hobie is the advantages of it over some of the other kayaks. To be clear, a Hobie is a freaking boat. It's not a kayak.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going to get the 14. I'll probably get the 12. But the width of the Hobie, the way the pedals work. So I have an issue with sciatica and like all kinds of problems with my back. So pedaling over time screws me up. And the Hobie drive gives you a little bit more space because you only have the travel of this instead of this.
The whole rotation.
You actually, it opens up your cockpit area bigger. And from what I've seen, I wanted a Native Titan. And don't get me wrong, Native, if you want to give me a call, I'll take one.
Me too.
But yeah, both of us will rep you for life.
I'll gladly swap it out.
I'm like, I like the swivel seat in it, but the thing about the Hobie that has me interested is that 360 drive. One of the things when I'm fishing that I love to do is I love to go down a bank, but I love to face the bank and try to go sideways. And that's hard to do with a prop drive. Whereas the 360, I can boom and turn my rudder, and then I can just do this, and I'm going horizontal.
That's true.
And that, to me, is something that interest me. And also, the fin drive does have one advantage in grass.
I heard. Yeah, I've heard that. I hate
Because
grass.
they don't have as big a problem with like getting like the trip I was just on, like the lake I was
You're
fishing,
just
man, caught
cleaning that shit out all time, just like
every
reaching in there.
freaking. I'm constantly reaching down and pulling that drive and wrapping stuff out of there.
Yeah,
And I will tell you, I have, and this is something that I'm going to teach you right now to save you some time and effort.
please.
Uh, I have wrapped so much freaking braid up into my freaking.
Oh God, yeah.
I've gone over braid. People have left. I've casted wacky rigs and not paid attention that I drifted over my own line, and then started pedaling, and then noticed that my rod's starting to bend, and then I'm like, oh no. So just for notes, if you keep I want to say, I'll figure out the size, a socket in your kayak, that prop comes off with one bolt,
Yep, I've heard. Yep,
and it's real freaking easy to swap out.
that's gotta go in like my
Trick
toolbox.
is putting something on the deck, like a deck plate or something, so you don't drop it in the water. But
Right.
literally, that prop is just held on with one nut that you take off, and it all comes apart, and it's all sealed in there, so you can't really lose. It's not like I always had this fear, like I'm going to take this off, and a spring's going to go flying, and I'm going to be losing parts, and I'm going to be pissed off. No, it's literally a shear pin, a screw, and a nut, and that's it.
Okay.
And it all comes apart, pops off, pops on. You could literally change one on the water. I haven't ordered one, but what's it? Black Hall Outfitters. They have a kit that they sell on Amazon for like $25. And it's got all the shear pin, the nut, it's got a floating nut and all that stuff.
I'm writing that down.
Just
So
you could throw it right inside the tank well in the front, and you would never have to worry. If something breaks while you're on the water. So for you, being someone who could be in bumfuck Maine, that you're not able to just go get the parts, you
I'm
could,
listening.
have to just order it on Amazon unless you want to swing back down to Vermont and pick it up at my house on the way through or something.
Yeah.
But
Question: the pedal drive on your PDL, you have. Does it have the little hatch that opens up? The little.
yeah,
Does that open
don't
up
trust that.
randomly?
And don't
Okay.
trust it. It's not waterproof. It leaks.
Why does it open up? Why? Why? It
So
was driving me insane. I had to bungee cord everything to hold it shut. I was so pissed off.
I've had that problem so many
Dude,
times with it.
I was like,
So,
what is this bullshit?
it's a dumb design, and because I'm fat and mine always has water in it, mine's always got water in the drive all the time.
Oh, damn. Yeah.
So I can't even use that storage area because
How could
there's
you
always water.
waterproof it?
You know what I keep in there? A freaking Gatorade bottle for me to pee in while I'm fishing.
Bro, you know what? I pee
Because it
out of.
works.
I'm a lady. Everybody learn it now. I'm a lady. I pull my drive up, scoot to the edge of the
Ooh.
seat, and pee.
That's fucking smart.
Bobby was
Well,
talking.
I do
Bobby told me
recommend.
that somebody he talks to does that, and I was like, she's a genius. And
Yep.
honestly, it's allowed me to fish all day long, 3 different times on the water.
You said somebody he knows does that. I know who that is.
Okay, because I don't know who it is. I need to meet her. I need to thank her.
It's Chrissy. I bet you it's Chrissy.
Probably. I just don't remember.
She's a tournament angler in Mass. She used to fish MAKB with me.
Dude, genius. I literally go to the middle of the lake. The one time I wrapped my jacket around me the one time. There's nobody on the water, but I was just self-conscious. If you just kind of, I think she has pants that unzip. If I'm ruining her whole life, I'm so sorry. But I think she has pants that like unzip there, and then you just kind of go, and then you take care of it, and then whatever.
Chrissy is so she's in a tournament trail with 12 guys.
Oh, good for her. Cheers.
She's the only female angler in that tournament trail, and she gets pissed off, masterfully pissed off, if they treat her like a girl at the tournament. Like if they try to help her load her kayak, or they try to anything. She's like, no, I'm one of you.
Yeah.
To the point where I joke about it. I'm like, I didn't even know you were a girl. I just that's just how she is. No, she's the thing is that the whole Old Town world is different because of that drive, the way that drive fits in. So what sucks about it is mine's loosening up. My drive actually shifts inside of the port. So I get like water that's why my kayak always has water in it,
Mm.
between the fact that I'm probably overweight for it, but also the way that drive has shifted on me,
Right.
water comes in the front where it locks in. You know where like that little bump that you lock it in and then set it down?
Yep. Yep.
Mine leaks right there. So it pushes water up into my kayak.
Gosh, dang it. That sucks.
And anytime you're peeing on the water, this is the thing, by the way, I'm gonna throw this out there. There's no one near you. You do a 360 look, and once you start, someone's fucking right there. I don't
I
know why.
know.
Every time, I don't know how many people I've waved
How does that happen?
to. The only good thing is this time of year I'm wearing shorts, so I'm just going up under the shorts being a dude, so it just looks like I'm fondling myself, which is, I don't know, better or worse than peeing in a bottle on the water, but
Oh. Well, I
it's
look
like,
like
why
a dude too.
pants in
From
his kayak?
from far away, I have short hair, I'm wearing a hat, and I'm fishing off of a kayak. So and my tits are small. Sorry, they just are. So, like, I can get
Gotcha.
away with looking like a guy, so sometimes I use that to my advantage. I put, like, my face buff on, and I'll put my layers on, and I'll, like, do what I gotta do, and then I'll, like,
Yep.
get away from the area and take it all off and, like, play the girl card if I have to. But,
Yeah.
yeah, no, that's a game changer. The hatch thing. You know what else? I also keep in that pedal dry I keep my scupper plugs. That way they're always in my boat, and then my wipes so that I can take care of, and, like, a Ziploc bag or, like, any, like, extra stuff that I'm not worried about getting wet, but that I need, like, right
Yep.
there. But, yeah, I had to, like, wrap the bungee cord because it kept fucking opening, and I was like, "What the
Mine
shit?"
does
I'm not
that.
even touching it, like, I was sitting
Yep.
one time, and it just went boing, and I was like, "What? You're excited to see me?"
The
Like,
other thing to be prepared on, speaking of that, this is turning into an Old Town commercial, but so you know that locks to drive down?
yep.
So that's made to break away
Oh,
if it
shit.
hits something hard enough. So that Black Hall Outfitter kit has a backup one of those too.
Okay. What is it? Okay, wait. What is the name of it?
So
Back
there's
what?
literally like it's like an Old Town. I
Uh,
can send you the link, but there's like literally if you do Old Town replacement parts on Amazon, you'll see there's a company called Black Hall Outfitters. It's actually like a legit like outfitter kayak shop, and
I'm
they
looking it
have
up.
a full replacement kit that's got like
Black
different.
Hall. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Says
Yeah, so that black half circle is the lock. That's the propeller. That's got the strap for your freaking paddle clip.
yo, the self-draining scupper plugs, my best friends. Who's the
So
genius
those
that invented
if
that?
you're gonna be traveling away from home where you're not gonna be able to get replacement parts easy. That comes in a little bag that you just throw in the front of your kayak and you're good to go. That has everything that could break,
Thank
basically.
you. Well, I'm making, like, my own version of, like, the Angler Aid box, which is, like, first aid stuff, tools, feminine
Yeah,
products, like, all those things. A tick remover because you never effing know.
cutters because you
Waterproof.
got to get a treble hook out of your fucking hand because that always happens when you're in the middle of the lake.
Yep. It's like one of those deep waterproof ones, and it's,
Yep,
did I get the blue one? Which one did I get? I don't remember which one I got, but I've been tinkering around with it, and I use it all the time. I keep a multi-tool in there, electrical tape,
yep.
silicone, like JB Weld in case something happens to my oh, you got a train?
Yeah, yeah.
JB Weld, like all that kind of stuff. I'll be doing a video on it
Yep.
probably by the end of the summer, just because I really want to fine tune it. But yeah, tools and stuff, extra spare parts, like you gotta have it. It's gonna live under
I
my
mean, I
seat.
do it, and I'm not fishing all that far from home all the time, but there's so many times where you should have seen me. I'm kind of giving away a little bit from my video, but so I caught my first, well, I can't say this,
Okay.
second jerk bait fish. Remember how I told you I'd never caught a fish on jerk bait?
Mhm. Mhm.
Like 6 in a row, like cast to cast to cast to cast. Some of them like twice in the same cast. So
Good
like
job.
literally, but the problem, yeah, it's great except for one thing.
Tell me.
6 cents makes the meanest fucking treble hook you've ever come in contact.
Uh-huh.
And it's just one of those like 97. It's like a smaller, it's like a husky jerk size, right? And I
I
was
know.
catching like I wasn't catching monsters. I was catching like 12 inches, right?
That's fine.
But a jerk bait with 3 treble hooks, you get one in the mouth and then you get one in the fin or one in the fucking side. You
Or the
can't
eye.
out hook a fish with a jerk bait, right?
Right.
So I'm trying to get a 8-inch fish with a 4-inch jerk bait, and I'm trying to get the jerk bait out of this fish. I can't lip it because one treble's in the mouth. I can't palm it because I looked like a fucking pincushion. I was bleeding more than the fish were. because every time I caught a fish, the fucking thing was jumping and cooking me, and then
Yep.
I was laughing and pissed at the same time because I kept getting like hooked and these hooks that they put on these six. I bitch about it, but I'm so happy about it at the same time. They're like those chemically sharpened like
Yeah, I
mustache
know. I
that
know
like
the
when you
ones.
set on your finger, you start bleeding.
Yep.
So like as soon as you come in contact with those treble hooks, you're bleeding. Like it's just
Mhm.
my hand literally hurts from trying to get freaking treble hooks out of those fish.
See, anytime I'm
That's
messing with
I
it,
got lucky and didn't bury them, you know?
dude, anytime I don't even care if it's a rooster tail. Anytime I have a treble hook fish, I net it. When in doubt, net it out. Okay, like
Yep,
I get it in the net
yep,
and I take care of it from there. I've lipped bass with fish grips because they had sketchy treble hooks, and I ain't putting my hands anywhere near them.
yep.
Like,
I will if I
no,
have
thank
like
you.
normally if I catch a big bass that like T-bones a bait, I'll
Oh
definitely use a
yeah,
lipless
that's not
or a lip
bad.
gripper because you can't like but like these were so small I couldn't even get the lip grippers in their mouth. I mean they were literally like this. They were like a
Yeah, yeah,
fish
yeah.
like this big with a jerk bait hanging off of it like that. So I had nowhere to grab this fish. So it's kind of like putting it in the deck of my boat. He was hooking my leg. I got one caught in my shorts at one point. Like it's the most comedy filled
Yeah.
like section of fish catches I've ever
And
had in my
we look
life.
like such rookies. Like we look like such idiots because we're like, oh my god, da, da, da," but it's a real fucking
Well, it's
thing,
funny
man.
because you look like a wimp because that fish jumps and you're like,
Yeah.
you're always like, it's like the kid that's scared to touch the fish, but it's like, no, I know how those treble hooks hurt.
Yeah.
And it's always treble hooks. It's very rarely do you get an EWG stuck in you, but those
No.
treble hooks are always the worst ones.
Knock on bookshelf. I've never had a hook past the barb in my hand.
Really?
In my body.
I'd have one surgically removed from a
Ah!
fat roll.
Oh, buddy. Did they at least take some of the fat roll off? Did they at least like
There's a reason I'm on Wegovy shots because of
oh
shit
my
like
god.
that.
Yeah.
And I wasn't even fishing. I was in my fucking bedroom. I sat down. I had a rod in my hand and I sat down on my bed to put my fucking Crocs on and I had a crankbait on it and I wasn't paying attention that the rod was next to me and I sat down and my fat roll like pinched the fucking treble hook and it went all the way around like to the shank all the way around and back out. And I was like, I got my wife in the room and I was like, I need you to cut the barb on this. And she's like, I can't get to the
Ah,
barb.
god
Because the
damn.
barb was in me at that point, wasn't coming through.
Oh,
So I
I
was like,
hate
okay,
this.
try pulling it out with pliers. And she tried pulling and she pulled the pliers and I went like that. And I'm like, yeah, we're going hospital. Like, yeah. I'm like, I need someone with
Yeah.
like
Yeah. That's
if I
fair.
had see that's the thing is I'm redneck enough that if I had injection level lidocaine, I probably would just do it myself. I've gotten to the point when I cut my finger off in
You're
at
what
the
now?
factory. When I did that at the factory, when I
Oh, oh, yeah, yeah,
was
yeah, yeah,
they
yeah,
watched
yeah.
me suture it so that I knew how to do it. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of like a polymer
I
now.
hate this conversation. I will leave this chat if you keep going with this shit. It's disgusting. Anyway, I caught the
You
best
didn't have
thing
to
that
learn all
happened.
that shit though.
Shut up. The best thing that happened was I caught a pike. It was probably like this big on my white glide bait, my river to sea, whatever it is. And he was hooked in the mouth with the first treble hook, and he kicked around in the boat, and he hooked his tail with the second. So he was just in a U, and he couldn't fucking
Yep.
move. My dad was
Yep.
like, "That's the best. That's the best situation with a freaking pike." I was like, "It
Yep.
was." I just took the pliers and bloop, bloop, and let him go. But I
Yeah,
don't mess with treble hooks, man.
the worst hook I got ever got into me. I was with my wife, and it was a treble hook. The fish hooked me, so I was doing. That's why I was so worried about the jerkbait hook fish. I lipped it right, and
Mhm.
then it jumped out of my hand and caught me on
Yep.
the way back down. So he got my thumb on the way back down. So now he's moving, and I'm hooked to him.
Yep. No, thank
Take
you.
with a bass on the freaking hook, I had to take the split ring pliers and get the treble hook off of the bait and then
Mhm.
unhook the fish because I couldn't do both.
Oh
Yeah, and
god.
that's why I just don't like. That's why I'm so like jumpy. Like you'll see in
Yeah.
my video, I look like a wimp because that fish will jump and I'm like pulling
I
my
do
handle like
too.
you know a
I didn't
monster.
touch fish till I was like 18 or 19. And that was
Yeah,
with a glove. Like I didn't lip fish. I didn't touch them. I didn't like it.
yeah,
Wasn't my thing. Worms are still weird. Like regular worms are fine. Mealworms are another fucking story. Ugh,
yeah.
no thank you. But like, yeah, there's sometimes that I'm like, oh god, fish. There's other times when I'm like, oh my
Actually,
god, treble hooks.
speaking of that, if you're ready in September, if you're ready in September,
Okay.
if you're not ready in September, but you're ready by ice fishing season, you 100% got to come up here, bring the bus up, and go ice fishing.
Oh, I'm coming up in the winter. I'm ice fishing with you, period.
Because
That's happening.
there's like in Vermont, the state parks are open. So where me and Bear were in that video where we caught
Video.
the walleye,
Yep, yep.
literally a state park. There's a parking lot right there.
I'm ready.
You put the bus right there, meet me at the ramp, and we wouldn't even need a fishing shanty. We just go back to the bus and throw wood on the fucking wood stove
Yep.
and hang out in the bus to warm up.
I'll just have like 4 plastic totes in the back. They're just pre-cut wood ready to go.
We weren't even like fishing. We were probably 30 yards off of the ramp.
Perfect.
So you don't even need a fishing shanty. You could sit in your bus and watch for flats. And just run out of the bus to go get tip ups.
Flag! Like go from like drinking hot
Now, if you
chocolate.
do that, I expect you to have a tripod in the parking lot to just watch you do a
Oh yeah.
Chinese fire drill out of your bus to go get a tip up.
Yep, you'll have like 7 GoPro angles of just me trying to get to one tip up.
If you go fishing with me and Bear, you'll laugh because it's the
I'm
funny
ready.
shit when you go fishing with a bunch of YouTubers because it's like a whole different world. Because when
Oh
you're normally
god.
fishing with a bunch of rednecks and ice fishing, it's just a bunch of dudes drinking and hanging out in a shanty, right? When you're going with YouTubers, it's a dude going tip up and then another guy fumbling in his pocket
Beep,
for a
beep,
cell
beep.
phone, another guy starting his GoPro. Bear literally carries a fucking portable tripod with a GoPro and is setting it up while hooking the fit. Like
Yeah,
you
me.
do weird, like the angles that you guys see. If you could see the, if somebody could follow
Yeah.
us or what we're doing while we're making that footage, it would be just as funny as the video itself
We
because
should
you
just
literally
make
watch
we
us like
should
do this dumb stuff.
we should make that video. Like
We
I
should.
follow you around with the camera or you follow me around, vice versa. We get each other's perspectives of what it looks like. It's a lot. It's
I caught a lot of it when I was camping. I don't realize, and this is the problem. I've done this long enough that I don't realize that other people exist when I'm
uh-huh.
fishing anymore.
Yeah.
So I'll be out there and I'll be sitting in my kayak and it will be just like this. It'll be like, okay, guys, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna use a swim bait. No, swim jig. Fucking jig. God fucking don't use this footage. And then like well, you just hear me having this full-on argument with myself on the water. But I forget, like this weekend, I was at a campground that has a 60-acre pond and sites all the way around it.
Yeah, right?
So
Yep.
people were literally listening to me going, fuck, that's not what I wanted to say. God damn it. Stop. Or me going, stop recording.
GoPro,
Yelling
start.
like dad voicing my fucking GoPros because they won't stop recording.
People were looking at me all funny because like I had my I didn't vlog every single moment of every day on the cruise, but I definitely like filmed the
Yeah.
shark stuff, and so I'll be able to put something together with it. But like people were looking at me like with so many like different like what the fuck is she doing like with her camera? And I was like, I've seen 3 other people with cameras. They literally have a GoPro vending machine on the
Yep.
ship. Like with accessories and GoPros in case anything happens. Like it's not new to anybody anywhere. So yeah, even the video. So I found the truck camping footage. I thought I deleted it all. So from Mass from when I came up, I found it, and in the video, I'm in the truck talking to the camera, and some guy just walks by the truck like the window, and I don't even like flinch because I'm just like updating the camera, but it looks so crazy editing it because he just kind of like walks by my window. It was really weird. But yeah, people don't exist sometimes. I just have to shut that off. Like
It's
it was hard for me in the beginning to shut it off. But it's like, no, get the update, do whatever the
no.
fuck you have to
Yep.
say. Nobody cares. Move on. People are doing TikToks and streaming. You know how many people were like
Yep.
FaceTiming family on the ship, just like holding their phone up,
Yep.
walking around? I'm like, okay. Like,
So my poor mom. So I decided this year I was going to do it differently. And what it is like people like you, people like you. That sounds really fucked up, but
thanks.
like my friends that do YouTube that do more like what I call artsy
Oh,
videos, like more
mhm.
B-roll and more like stuff. Like it's influencing my content big time. And like my boy Bear does the same shit. Like I notice like when I'm fishing with him, he's really done it to me a lot where like I'll be like, what the fuck are you doing? And then I watch his video and I'm like, oh,
Yeah. Ooh,
that's why
yeah.
you had your phone out while we were just pedaling. Like, okay, this
Uh-huh.
makes sense. So like I was recording my mom cooking breakfast,
Ooh.
but my mom didn't know why. Like I didn't say anything. I was just like a creeper recording sausage cooking on a grill.
Yeah.
And
You're like
she's like, what the hell are you doing?
you're like, "Hey, mom, what's up?" "No, it's fine."
And the thing is I'm getting irritated with my mom who's cooking me breakfast because she's talking. So now I'm gonna have to edit the voice out.
Yep. You ruined a perfectly good shot, mom.
God damn it, you're ruining my shot. Or like I was recording the fire, or I was recording like just random shots because I'm trying to like include more B-roll and like have more of like the vlog style. You know,
Yeah, a
because
little
some of
bit
my
of a
videos I've learned like,
cinematic.
and actually the guys watching this are pretty much my main viewers at this point, but like I feel like there's some times that like my videos get boring because I'm like, oh, I caught a fish. Oh, look, I caught a fish. Hey, look, I caught a fish. Hey guys, I caught this on a wacky rig, or I caught this on a Pro Blue Shiner belly weighted hook. Like I say that like 1,000 times throughout the course of the summer, and I think people get sick of it. So I'm trying to like dress it up and make it more entertaining.
Yeah, put a nice little
Um,
thumbnail on it. Put a little
oh,
button there.
then you got this too.
Oh, or your wife cussing you out as you're tearing
So I
down.
tried to record like the tent takedown to do my outro of the video, and I'm like, I don't fucking understand this tent. And she's like, just fucking hold like this, parent like
Mhm.
wife yelling at husband about tent stuff. Um,
Typical
but I'm
marriage
trying to
shit.
like do more stuff like that, and a lot of it comes from like I started doing like a vlog when I get bored
Yeah.
because I feel like sometimes there's stuff that just doesn't fit into a fishing video. And a lot of
Yeah.
that comes from like watching your content where you're I don't want to say like lucky because it's like your decision, but like your content is not just fishing. Like your
Yeah.
content is you.
Yep.
It's
100%.
it's your content is like a life story
Yeah.
instead of more of a journal of your life rather than a fishing content. And I'm trying to go more like half and half. I want it to be mostly a fishing education channel with some
Right.
cool stuff in it. Also like there's times where I'm like, I have this really good idea of like a concept or a topic that I want to talk about, but like I'm not fishing and it
Yeah.
doesn't fit. But like if I just stopped in the middle and was like, hey guys, I want to talk about the mental aspects of fishing while I'm in the middle of a lake not catching fish, it just seems weird. So I've started like doing different types of content. That's actually one of the reasons why I wanted to go weekly with the live stream is I wanted to do the like update. This is what we're doing.
Mhm.
This is why I'm doing it. Like the pro staff stuff. Like a lot of people, I got some like weird backlash on that.
Bastard.
Yeah, so I got some people that like
Uh,
it was like I got some messages that people were like, "Oh, so now you're being paid," and I'm like, "No, that's not how pro staff works." That's what that pro staff video was about. Was like
Mhm.
I don't do this as a living.
Right.
Now, again, I'll say this one more time in case they're not listening. Pure Fishing, call me. I will do it for a living if you call me.
Anybody in the fishing or outdoor community, call me. I will do this for a
Yeah,
living.
yeah. Like it's not my career unless
Right.
like I get if I could replace my income and have a guaranteed income, I'd think about it. But for me, it's more I back the companies that have backed me.
Yeah.
And also back the companies that like I like Reaction Tackle was one of those things where I didn't realize and that's actually why I wanted to help. I did not realize that half of the stuff I was using was Reaction Tackle because I was buying it on Amazon.
Yep.
And I don't
I
pay
do the
attention
same.
to brand name on Amazon
Yeah.
because half of the shit on Amazon is like if they've gotten to the point now where there's shit on Amazon that's like literally the brand name is generic.
Yep. And you're just like, "Okay."
Like or newer. Like I bought a case for my
Newer, that's what I call it, because it's like 3 E's. Yeah.
yeah. But it's like you see it and you're like, "Oh, that's the newer version." No, it's literally the fucking brand name.
Nope, that's
They're
the brand.
being smart with their marketing. So I never realized like half of the stuff that I was buying was one company, and I feel like that's a disservice to Reaction Tackle. Like
Right.
people need to know about that brand because I've been trusting that brand for 2 years and fishing a lot of their equipment, but no one knew they existed.
Yeah, I've been using them for a little while
He
before.
does this on the internet every week.
Yeah, yeah, it's
And the
crazy.
rod thing was just because I fished against a guy that I actually met at the trade show. So, when you saw me at the trade show in New England, the aisle behind me, the guys with the rods on the end, those guys are one of the guys that was selling FX custom rods.
Mhm.
Those guys, one of those guys fishes in my trail in Vermont.
Oh, sweet.
I met him at that show, talked to him for a little while, and then when we got to the first tournament, he came over and started talking to me immediately because he remembered me from the trade show
Right.
and actually let me borrow a rod to fish the tournament.
Good guy.
And I was like, okay, cool. Yeah, I'll use a high
Alright, whatever.
tournament for free. Absolutely. And I ended up, becoming pro staff for them. But it was just simply because I used it. I really liked it. And now I literally am at the point now where I'm about ready to throw out all my spinning rods and replace them
Damn. No, I'll take
because
some.
their spinning rods are that good.
Don't throw them out, give them to me. Give me some.
Seriously, when you're up, let me know.
Alright. Well, I heard you're doing a giveaway when I come up there, so
I am. So I'm trying. I'm changing the rules of that too, guys. So I'll put that out here right now. So everybody who endured my rambling for 56 minutes gets to know the information first. I'm changing the giveaway because I feel like it's kind of fucked up to make you have to purchase something to enter into the giveaway. So from here on out, the giveaway, and there's going to be a whole series of videos and stuff about this later, but if you take a photo of a fish you caught with a reaction tackle bait or an FX Customs rod or an A-Bay Lure Lab bait,
mhm.
the fish with the rod bait in the photo so I can tell that you actually caught it with that bait, that's an entry. We're going to simplify it. You don't have to buy something. You don't have to. If you do buy something, obviously try to use my codes because I get credit and it gives me. What you need to do is tag me and that company. So if you catch a fish on a reaction tackle with this wacky hook, for example, tag reaction tackle and me and send the photo to say, hey, I've caught a fish on this wacky rig. Do the same thing with FX Customs and the same thing with A-Bay, and that's an entry. And that's
Gnarly.
do it. I'm going to run this through the summer, so you guys have plenty of opportunity to enter. I'm not going to make you do it for 2 weeks or whatever because I know everybody fishes on their own schedule. I mean,
Yeah.
Scott said he's got broken ribs, so he's not able to
Bro.
fish, So I want to give everybody the best opportunity. The more people that do use my codes and do use those things, any money that I make back from Reaction Tackle is getting dumped into prices.
Nice.
Not keeping any of it. It's getting basically I'm using that to buy prizes. I have some other companies that are willing to throw some stuff in. I'm also working on in August, possibly
Oh,
September, depending on how it works out. I'm also working on a tournament. And this is, again, the first time that anybody's going to hear this, but I'm just going to throw it out there. I'm doing a tournament for the Punt Foundation. Anybody who watches Alex Rudd's channel, they know all about that. I'm actually working with Alex to help me with the donation side. I already have some companies. Gambler is going to donate some stuff. A-Bay is going to donate some stuff. I have some reaction tackle stuff I'm going to donate. Basically, the way this tournament is going to work is you use a kiddie pole, Barbie pole, any of those kiddie poles. You catch a bass, you put it on a measuring board. It's the 5 biggest fish, standard KBF style rules, but you have to take a picture with the pole and the measuring board. That's your entry fee. I'm not going
man.
to. We'll do a code identifier for the month. It's going to be a month long. The 5 biggest fish of the tournament basically win. We're going to place as many as I can. Keep in mind, this is completely out of pocket for me when it comes to shipping all this stuff. I've got some companies that are going to be willing to probably send me the baits and then I have to ship them. So I'm not going to be able to place like 20 people because I'm going to be paying out of pocket for the shipping. But I'm going to be working with a bunch of local companies and trying to get as many donations. Every penny that isn't taken from processing fees and basically I'm running it through TourneyX through my boy Daniel for Make Contain. Anything that doesn't go to that side is going to Punt. I'm not even taking anything out of the entry fees for the shipping. I'm covering that. So literally every penny that you put in either is going to whatever TourneyX charges or the Punt Foundation. And we're going to run that through the month. I have to get some logistics down and get some promotional stuff made. That's my plan this week. But And if anybody knows of any companies that are interested in, donating stuff, my current task is to try to see if I can get a discount code for the poles themselves. I want to see if I can get like Shakespeare or someone to throw like a 5%, 10% off, coupon for something like that. But if not, then we'll figure it out. But basically, you just have to use one of those poles. You can try to put whatever line you want on it. Good luck to you.
Yeah, right.
Change the line in those reels, but it's not easy. And don't put braid on it. I'll tell you right now, don't do that.
I'm in. Sign me up.
It sounds fun, right? That's what the
Sounds-
whole point for
sounds
me is the content alone of me, 300 pounds of me, and I'm going to probably try to get the hot pink Barbie one just because it's going to be
Oh.
even more fun for me,
Uh,
and trying to catch a 5-pound bass on a freaking pole this big. And
Do they have an Encanto one?
I'm getting fun from it.
I'm in.
The
Just
poles
sign
are
me
like
up.
$10. Like they're not expensive.
They're not expensive. It's the line part. That's the part that you have to really
You're
freaking.
gonna have to change the line because I think those come with like 6-pound test.
It's like 2-pound test. It's like nothing.
Yeah, it's 6-pound test of like 7 consonants and a vowel line. It's not even like Berkeley. It's like I don't even know what the line is.
I don't know what
some
it is.
crappy line that, like, literally what you should do is immediately take that and throw it away and put new.
It might be dental floss that they put on there. Like that's up. Dental
But
floss
that's the
might
plan.
actually
I'm
be
trying-
stronger.
It might be, actually, to be honest with you.
Yep, it's good for sushi.
But yeah, that's something that I'm trying to do. That's what this whole big announcements, changes, stuff like that coming is. I'm trying to run that tournament. For those of you who don't know, my now 14-year-old was born prematurely and was at the NICU for 4 or 5 days when he was born, and then had to have surgery as an infant. So kids in medical issues, and I was actually in the NICU next to a girl I went to high school with who had to have her baby taken out prematurely because of issues, and he was this big. And there's, Disneyland is the happiest place on earth. The NICU is the saddest place. So I have a soft spot for kids with cancer or any type of illness. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Punt Foundation, but essentially what they do is they provide like money for car travel, money for gas cards and stuff like that for parents who have kids that are in these situations, that are in, ICUs or cancer treatments. They provide those like gap things that, like, they need to rent a car for the weekend to bring their kid for a specialist, stuff like that. They covered those expenses.
Yeah, the ones that nobody thinks about.
Needed resource that, it's stuff that your insurance isn't going to cover that. The insurance doesn't pay for you to get to the hospital, and stuff like that. So even the best insurance in the world doesn't cover those auxiliary expenses that you need. Eating dinner, you have to eat, you have to stay somewhere when you're down there. Yeah. Like I live in a rural area, so I have probably a little bit more of an appreciation than some people that live in a city. A hospital is not 10 minutes from me. Like a hospital that caliber is an hour and a half. And it's not near where I work. So like when I was sleeping for the surgery, I was sleeping in the waiting room. I wasn't even allowed to sleep in the room with my son because they have dual rooms, and the mother that was in the room was breastfeeding. So as a male, I'm not allowed to even stay in that room with my son. So I had to leave my son with the nursing staff at night. So I was sleeping in the freaking waiting room. Like I was putting 2 chairs and making that like weird bridge bed.
We've all done it.
Crappy chairs in the waiting room, So like having that resource out there and knowing that exists has inspired me to do it. I tried to really get the coordination done last year, but this year I'm starting next week. I'm actually starting to hash out the details and starting the promotional stuff, but be aware that that's coming. You guys will see it. You'll be sick of seeing advertisements on Instagram and YouTube and TikTok and YouTube Shorts, and probably somebody else is going to help me promote it too on her channel. So
yep, I'm doing it.
She didn't even know that she's going to be helping, but I
didn't know. Nope. But as soon as you said it, I'm in.
Any of my content creator buddies, I may even, if I can get Alex to do it. My boy Mikey Balls will probably help me promote it. And
yeah, that's huge. Everybody should do it.
Shameless plugs there.
It's for the kids, bro. You got to do it. It's for the kids.
Absolutely. So yeah, guys, we're going weekly. I'm probably gonna end this because it's like 150 degrees in here and fat kid's sweating his butt off. But yeah, we're going weekly. I'm probably gonna bring Janelle in as much as she can stand it because even if she can't make content, she can at least come on here and make videos with me.
I could probably
If you
make
guys
enough.
haven't subscribed to her channel, you
Yeah.
should do that.
I could probably make enough content just if I film our conversations. I could just put a whole video together of me being on your podcast.
That's honestly why I asked you to come on because that the funniest part, guys, what you don't know is the question was, "Hey, what are you doing today?" And then ... This is a loaded question, and she's like, "Okay,"
I knew
and
it
then I
was.
was like, "The thing is I knew as soon as we got into a live stream, we could come up with a. I don't need a topic. I just need someone to talk to. My
Yeah.
ADHD takes over, and then I'm good to go.
We ride that
My
wave.
hardest thing about going live, and I will say, the once a week thing, if I don't get a guest, is going to be probably a shorter live. It's probably going to be a recap of my week. But it's harder for me to talk when I don't have a person to bounce off of. But then when I have someone to bounce off of, I end up going for 3.5 hours, like I do with Bobby, and then people are like,
Hey,
"What the fuck is a podcast?"
I
You know, when
dude,
people like get messages that our first one was like 3 hours,
yeah,
and that was your show. That
you're
wasn't
welcome.
even my.
I'm the same way. Like I started off with the podcast. I was doing my own like solo, talk about a topic, get like an hour or whatever. And then when I started having guests, I could just keep going and going. And now I'm like, I don't know if I want like I am gonna sprinkle in some of the solo ones, but I like talking to people. I like talking to guests, and I don't have the confidence just yet, just to like talking to the microphone. Like I mean, I can talk, but like I don't like the solo ones
It's
as
weird.
much.
Takes a little while.
It's a weird motivation. I like talk myself out of doing it all the time. Like I was supposed to do one today. I totally forgot to do it. I totally just like, oh, I have laundry
So
and stuff to
I
do, so I did that.
I will say the one thing that I learned that works for me with the vloggy stuff is just pick a thought or a topic and then pretend you're explaining it to someone. That's what I've started to do.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, so today we're gonna talk about like my vlogs that I do is like, to be honest, a lot of those is dangerous as fuck because a lot my wife's watching. So earmuffs, wife. I do a lot of those when I'm driving to the boat ramp. Like
Oh,
I'll
you
like
bad
I
man.
have my phone mounted on one of those visor mounts, and then
Me
I'm
too.
like, "Oh," I'm driving to lake, and I'm like, "Hey, I'm practicing for a tournament," and I'm like, "Okay, well, what am I gonna do?" Like, and the thing is, I do this already. I'm like, "Okay, so when I get there, I'm gonna start with a square bill, and then I'm probably gonna switch up to." And now I just turn the camera on, and I go, "Hey guys, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna talk about my strategy," and then I'm
Yeah.
like, "So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start with a square bill," and I just like took my internal monologue and made it an external
Outside.
monologue, and that's how I've done that. And that's probably what my lives when I'm solo are going to be is like, okay guys, so I just got done fishing. That's why I'm doing them on Tuesdays, because
Yeah.
I'll remember what happened on Sunday. If I did them like Friday,
Yeah.
I wouldn't remember what the hell happened
You're
on.
toast.
So
Yeah.
I'm going to be like, okay, so this weekend, this is what happened. I did a tournament. Now, I will say I'm not going to give you guys a lot of information on tournament recaps because I want you to watch my tournament videos. And to be fair, the like 4 or 5 people that made it an hour and 8 minutes into this video are also the people who watched my videos. So if I tell you all of it now, then you're going to be bored when you watch my video because you'll be like, oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that's what he was talking about. He caught the bluegill and threw it across the lake because he was angry. Yeah, that's
Yeah. Dude,
maybe it'll wait for you to watch the video, but
I have like taped this microphone. It's taped to this right now, but I've mounted this onto the visor of my car. I've tried lavalier mics. There's always some
yep.
sort of interference, but like when I drive from here to my parents, it's an hour and 15 minutes. So in the beginning, like I was just like talking and like doing podcast episodes, and it was great. But then, like I said, I started talking myself out of it. I didn't like the interference that I was getting with the microphone for whatever reason. So I stopped doing it. You mean like how you were doing campground and we got yep, that sounds about
Yeah,
right.
I was getting B-roll. I was like, "Hey guys," so she called me and she's like, "Are you drinking? Are you having a stroke?" And I'm off the road 3 times because I'm trying to get B-roll of me driving to.
Oh, that's my favorite is like Soraya
Yep.
always catches me like I when I record B-roll, I try to go for like minimum 5 seconds depending on what I'm doing to like 30 seconds. 30 seconds is a lot, but if that's like a fast forward clip, whatever. So, like,
Yep.
I'll be recording her, and I'll get, like, so close to it being perfect, and then she'll look at the camera. I'm like, "You gotta restart, and now you have to act like you
Yep.
didn't know the camera was there." I was like, "I'll tell you when
Yeah.
I need a reaction or, like, a not a reaction, but when I need you to talk or, like, look at me. If not, just pretend like I'm not there." Like, come on.
Yeah, and that's the thing is that's the part I'm learning is like I call it like my artsy video, like because sometimes I'll admit I just make a raw video. I
Mhm.
actually have videos that I save that like it sounds really weird, but as a content creator, you get like these videos that you're excited about. And for some reason, those videos are also the videos that flop. Like
Oh, I know.
the ones I'm the most excited to put out are the ones that get like 5 views, and I'm like, what the fuck?
No
And
one
then the
cares.
video that I'm like, I'll just put this one up because it's Tuesday and no one's gonna watch it anyways. Then it gets 1,000 views, and I'm like, why? But the thing is I'm trying to do more like I'm trying to fill my videos more with information because just watching me catch fish isn't really. You could go on YouTube and find
And watch
anyone
a
catch.
million people do that. Yeah.
So I'm trying to bring my own twist and my own flair on it. I'm going to be doing a bunch of rigging videos. I actually planned on doing those when I was camping, but it rained the entire time.
Oh.
And I will say, because I'm this no filter guy, people don't know how to fucking control their kids. And all I heard
Oh.
was kids screaming in the background a lot. And it was just
Yeah.
annoying to the point where I was like, I can't. I've literally have a video I actually was editing today, and it was literally like, okay, guys, so this right here is a reaction tackle tungsten swim jig, and then this kid screaming, and you literally hear me go, and apparently people don't know how to fucking keep their kids quiet. And then I was like, okay, delete, stop recording, and
There
then like
the
I'm like I can't, I need to do it. So there's a lake that's I'm probably gonna fish Sunday if I
Mm.
don't fish with Bobby. Oh yeah, spoiler alert, I may be fishing with um that if I'm not fishing with Bobby, I'm gonna go there and just do a bunch of rigging videos. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie, I don't know if you've seen that stupid Hawk Tua fucking trend thing that's going on
I
TikTok.
hate it.
I definitely
Fucking
gotta
hate
figure
it.
out how to get something and I gotta do
Disgusting.
something viral with that.
You know, I'm mad because when that song when everyone was doing, like, "Stick 'em up, everybody, I'm robbing this place" with their,
Yep.
like, pet, I was like, "I need to do that with fish." Like, I need to have, like, 2 little fish, like,
So
"Stick 'em up," and I never
Alex
did
beat
it.
me to it. I said to my wife when I saw that freaking video, I'm like,
Yeah.
I need to make a fucking knot tying video with her coming in and doing that, and like, you need to moisten your line and have it come in. And fucking Alex
Ugh,
Rudd, like, on point, man, got that out like quick,
it's
and I was like, I
disgusting,
do
you
that.
nasty
But
men.
there's
Just
that's the thing
whatever.
about YouTube is like you follow that crap though. Like if you end up
Yeah.
trying to figure how to use trends like
Well, Soraya's like, you should have a TikTok and you should use TikTok." I'm like, "Soraya, I'm
I hate.
already worn down with YouTube, a podcast, and Instagram. Like, I already it's too much already. Like, I can't handle a TikTok as well. Like, let's, like, calm the F down."
So you know what I do with TikTok? I'll tell you what the cheat code for TikTok is.
Oh.
Test your reels for Instagram on TikTok first.
Oh, okay.
Make the exact same reel that you would make for Instagram, put it on TikTok, see how many views it gets, edit it if it needs adjustment, if it didn't get a lot of views, and then throw it up on Instagram.
You see, there's a part
I
of me
don't
that
make a different video for TikTok. You know what I do for my TikTok videos?
you find
I
the
put a different
song
song.
that's trending. Oh, yeah, that's
I
all it is.
change the song because TikTok has different trending songs than Instagram. So my TikTok song is a different song than my Instagram song, which is a different song than my YouTube short. And I will say, Scott Bonner, Michael Bradley, all these guys that are loyal to me, I am sorry because I'm sure you guys see the same fucking video 4 times
Yep.
and get
Yep.
irritated with it. But that's just I do that because I'm trying to reach a broader audience. But unfortunately, I do have some loyal people that are like, "Oh, this is goddamn video again."
Dude, that was me. I was, like, trying to reach out to people on Instagram to have them on the podcast, so I was literally, like, sending them, the message like, "Hey, I have this podcast if you wanna be
Yep,
on it, blah, blah, blah." And then I was going to their most recent post, and I was being like, "Check your DMs for, like,
yep.
podcast, whatever." After the 3rd one, like, my Instagram, like, shuts down, and it was like, "Your comment has been removed." And I was like, "For what?" And it was like, "For repeating comments on whatever." I'm like, "That's a thing now?" I was like, "I'm just
So
trying to fucking network
yeah,
and get people on the show. Now I can't do
the
that." Like,
problem with Instagram is it filters everything now. So if you message someone that you're not already friends with, it puts you into a request category.
Oh, that's probably
Yeah.
why I'm not
So
getting any fucking responses.
do you need a laugh? Go into your Instagram, go into the
Oh,
message, go to the requests. I recommend doing it in a quiet space.
why?
3/4 of them are OnlyFans bots,
Oh,
but
Jesus.
it's yeah, it's every once in a while I've actually had a couple of people that reached out to me. One was actually a bait guy here in Vermont, and like a couple other people that were like just sitting in my, like, I left people unread because I didn't know,
Yeah.
because like filters them. It doesn't let them into your regular inbox until
Well,
you.
that's okay. So, how the fuck am I supposed to reach out to people now? Because Instagram was like my number one.
We
And
can.
I'm not in
I
the
got
mood to like follow everybody and then
no. Yeah,
fucking message them.
I can help you with some
Okay,
people. I'll send
cool.
some people
I
your way.
got you.
If you're looking for
Great.
podcasts, and actually, if anybody's watching this and you're looking to be on a podcast, we
Come
both
on.
have podcasts, and you could come on both of them.
I don't give a shit who
I'm
you are.
not.
Let's talk. I
I don't
don't
really
care.
discriminate on guests either. Like, you don't even have to be in the fishing industry. You could
No,
make like baskets. I don't care.
I like talking about whatever you're passionate about or whatever you feel like
Um,
talking about that day, as long as it's like appropriate. And I mean, you can cuss and stuff.
yeah,
Like, let's calm down with some of it. I'm trying to make money off of this shit.
yeah, yeah. Eventually, we have to keep it PG. But yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, guys, we're gonna end it right here. I will see you guys again in 3 days because I'm stupid, and and a little foreshadowing, just because I'm already plugging everything else that I do.
Oh God.
3 days, there'll be another Spawn podcast. May or may not have a guest. I'm looking at possibly getting Zach from Dark Horse, or Bass and Beer back, or Bobby Roast Beef, or
I'm busy, so
random person that I need to talk to. I
yeah,
might stuff a camera on my wife's face and have her bitch about how much I talk about fishing. I don't know.
it's probably a
But
good idea.
Thursday, for the guys that are in here, like Scott Vermonter, Michael Bradley, Thursday we have Chad Hoover on the Make and Tame podcast.
Dude,
That one's going to be really cool.
I'm jealous.
He is a really, really big guy in the fishing industry, and going to be a fun topics, and lots of talking going on there. That's actually where I'm going to try to talk to him about possibly helping me with the Punt Foundation tournament stuff too. So we might be able to work something out with him because he's huge into KBF and can help me promote it. So be on the lookout for that. Follow her channel, and that way when I start showing up as collaboration videos on there, you'll
There you
see them.
go.
We
Yes.
probably, I'm going to say it right now, the collaboration videos will release on her channel first. I'm not going to release my video until after her video hits, so you'll have to watch it on her channel first. I do that with people that I collaborate with because I want to spread the love and I want everybody to grow together. So
Thanks, handsome.
see the collaboration first. You got to see it there.
Heyo, you got to go to
Yeah,
Enthusiast
we're gonna end
Adventure.
it right here, guys. And I will see you on Tuesday, and she'll see you whenever the hell she gets her bus ready.
Yeah.